welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Here to talk about the first round of the 2017 NFL Draft and what the Tennessee Titans did in the first round of the 2017 NFL Draft. Now, first of all, excuse my voice a little bit. I was live for the draft for about 4 hours, so I'm still recuperating from that. But now I can talk a little bit slower to get my thoughts across. Now, go back and watch that a little bit. Go back and watch my live stream, my live coverage of the draft. You'll see a lot of emotions from me as it pertains to the Tennessee Titans, my favorite team, as they drafted Corey Davis and Adoree Jackson. Now, let's start with Corey Davis because this is where we can all agree. When the Titans first took Corey Davis at number 5 overall, I was a little skeptical. I liked the pick, but I didn't love the pick because there were guys like Jamal Adams, Jonathan Allen, and Marshawn Lattimore that I felt would have been better picks at that selection just because I think all three of those players will be far superior than Corey Davis as football players. All three of those guys were seriously possessing Hall of Fame potential to me, while Corey Davis is just going to be very good, and he'll be very good, but not quite at the level of those guys. And yes, even though the Titans haven't needed wide receiver, I just felt the value of those guys superseded the value of Corey Davis despite having a need at wide receiver. That's what I felt. But as the draft went on, and Jonathan Allen was falling down draft boards, still falling. Marshawn Lattimore fell all the way down to 11. Perhaps these NFL teams read these medical reports and they were really bad. And that's what really scared off the Titans from taking one of those guys. But the one guy that I still regret us not taking is Jamal Adams, okay? Because Jamal Adams, he's just going to be a better player than Corey Davis, and it's not going to be very close. Jamal Adams will be a Pro Bowler, most likely. I mean, that's what I'm predicting. Corey Davis could make a couple Pro Bowls. I mean, Corey Davis could be, and I think he's going to be, about a 1,200-yard receiver, and it just depends on how many votes he gets and how much of an impact he ultimately makes. And that's going to be very good. But I feel like Jamal Adams, man, that guy's just special. Just an elite talent in this draft. One of the 4 elite talents in this draft to me. It's him, Solomon Thomas, Myles Garrett, and Leonard Fournette. Those were the 4 elite, E-L-I-T-E talents. And I have just reservations about us passing on that type of elite talent. A guy who's going to make the Pro Bowl for years, make an impact for years, okay? So that hurt a little bit to me. But then outside of that, man, the Titans needed a damn wide receiver, and they got a damn wide receiver, and they got the best wide receiver on the board. Ultimately, man, I'm happy. I'm going to get my Corey Davis jersey, hopefully, eventually. Get your 84 jerseys out, okay? And not your Randy Moss 84 Titans jerseys, but your 84 Corey Davis jerseys. He's going to be very good. Now, initially, he may not be a 1,000-yard receiver just like for his first year because I think he may only be our number 2 wide receiver for a little bit, right? It may take him a little bit to surpass Rashard Matthews, and still we will not seek to throw the ball much, right? This is still the smash mouth offense, still Mike Mularkey's smash mouth ground pound offense. So he probably won't pass 1,000 yards his rookie season. Probably won't. He could. But eventually, he will be a 1,000-yard wide receiver for Marcus Mariota and for this football team, and that's what we need, okay? He's a number 1 wide receiver. He is now our number 1 wide receiver, or he will be, and our really franchise wide receiver, I guess. I mean, but this is the one thing that I look at, and I compare it to, and I'll say, okay, we could have reservations. Remember back to 2014, the 2014 NFL Draft, when the Buffalo Bills selected Sammy Watkins number 4 overall. Now, it's not an exact comparison because Sammy Watkins was a better prospect than Corey Davis is, but the end result could be the same. Sammy Watkins, you look back at that draft, you know, he's a good player. And at number 4 overall, you look back and you say, yeah, they could have taken better guys, right? They could have taken Odell Beckham. They could have taken Aaron Donald. They could have taken Taylor Decker. They could have taken Anthony Barr. There were better players that they could have taken, and players that were taken after Sammy Watkins are proven to be, better, and some of them even much better. But at the same time, the Bills are pretty happy they took Sammy Watkins. I think that will be the case for the Tennessee Titans, but maybe even a little better because the Bills, they may not even keep Sammy Watkins right now. That's what's going on there. But I think that's what it's going to be similar to. Also, maybe Mike Evans, right? Mike Evans went 7th in that draft, but then after Mike Evans went Taylor Lewan, went Anthony Barr, went Aaron Donald, went Odell Beckham Jr. So even the Bucs look back and say, even though Mike Evans is good, yes, Aaron Donald and Odell Beckham could have been better picks. So I think it's going to be similar to that. Ultimately, though, I do give this pick an A-. It's just you could have gotten an A to me by taking Jamal Adams and letting him be an absolute beast in the secondary for years to come. I know we signed Jonathan Cyprien in free agency, but as I thought about it more, look, dude, Jamal Adams is too good to pass up. And I would not have passed up on him. He's an elite talent. I would not have passed up on the elite talent, but ultimately I'm happy. Let me be clear, I'm happy. It's an A-. A- is good. Okay, A- is good. Then we move on to Adoree Jackson. And I'm not going to rant in this video, as I already ranted during my live coverage. Go back and watch that. It won't be hard to find the time. Maybe I'll leave it in the comments down below, the time of which I reacted ridiculously to this pick. I've calmed down a little bit, only a little bit. As I've said, there is a problem brewing within this Tennessee Titans community right now. Titans Twitter, MusicCityMiracles.com, Titans forums, whatever. John Robinson has been very good as a GM. And as a result, almost anything and everything he does, everyone is ready to defend. Everything. If he does anything, we're ready to defend it. We're ready to say, oh, it's so good, it's so good, it's J-Rob. J-Rob did it good. Can we just be honest for a second, please? Okay. Before the draft, if I would have told you the Titans are going to take Adoree Jackson with the number 18 overall pick, would you have been happy? No. And until he goes on the field and performs worthy of that level, you should remain unhappy. But what's going to happen is as we head into training camp, and you read this report, and you listen to Mike Mularkey talk about him, and John Robinson talk about him, and you read this article, and you read this article, people are going to start falling in love with Adoree Jackson. I need to see him on the field because let me tell you, as a prospect, he ain't that good, dog. I had him as a late second-round pick. Now, he offers this value. He is going to be a great special teams man for this football team. Great. Ask the Minnesota Vikings if they would still take Cordero Patterson in the first round of the 2013 NFL Draft. No. Why? Because Cordero Patterson doesn't currently play for the Minnesota Vikings. He currently, I think, is now signed to the Oakland Raiders. I have to check that, but I know it's not for the Minnesota Vikings anymore. Special teams only get you so far, okay? As a corner, the kid just ain't that good. Now, what he's able to do, or at least what he showed an ability to do in the 2016 collegiate season, is come down with interceptions. Had 5 interceptions during the season. Very good. How is he against the run? Not good. How is he in coverage? He can be up and down, man. He can come down with these interceptions, but at times he just gets straight out, flat out burned. He got burned by John Ross. He got burned other times as well. Chris Godwin lit him up in that bowl game, dog. Adoree Jackson did not play well in that bowl game. Did not play well against Washington. He has some bad games on tape. He can develop, man. He was one of the top recruits coming out of high school. He still has a bunch of potential, wearing like a 4.36 at the combine. He's like 5'10". He could only prove to be a slot corner. Okay, that's possible now. And ideally, we would have liked, or at least I would have liked, to take a guy who could turn Logan Ryan back into a number 2 corner. There is no way to me, pretty much no way, that Adoree Jackson will ever be our number 1 corner. Now Logan Ryan has to hold that fort down. And I think he's going to do a decent job, but I would have preferred to maximize our potential by getting a guy like Marshawn Lattimore, okay, or other cornerbacks even at this spot, because I had Adoree Jackson behind several cornerbacks. Quincy Wilson out of Florida, Tre'Davious White out of LSU, Chidobe Awuzie out of Colorado, Garyon Conley out of Ohio State. And then he was kind of in the range of Tease Tabor out of Florida, but I still had Tabor higher. Akilla Witherspoon out of Colorado, but I had Witherspoon higher. I had him over Kevin King. Okay, so that's something now. And there's probably some other corners that I'm forgetting right now. Sidney Jones had a better grade on, but he's injured, so obviously I'm not going to take him. So, I mean, honestly, man, this was just not a good pick. It's just not a... It's not likely, to me at least, that it's going to prove to be a good pick for this football team. I don't think he's going to be very good. And when I look back at my old reactions, right, when I reacted to the Titans taking Taylor Lewan and when I reacted to the Titans taking Jack Conklin, some people are drawing comparisons and saying, you did not like those picks. You did not like when the Titans took Taylor Lewan. You did not like when the Titans took Jack Conklin, and look how they turned out. This is the key distinction. When the Titans took Taylor Lewan, what did I say? Go back to the video. I said, Taylor Lewan, at the time when we took him, was 8th on my big board. My problem was, at the time, we had Michael Ruse and David Stewart still on our roster. Maybe David Stewart wasn't actually. But to me, we did not have a needed tackle, and they were being clear from the get-go, we are benching Taylor Lewan for a year. That pissed me off because at the time we had quarterback Jake Locker as our damn quarterback. I wanted a quarterback at number 11. I wanted Derek Carr or Teddy Bridgewater or even, I know, Johnny Manziel. I was desperate, though, okay? I just wanted someone other than Jake Locker. I also wanted Odell Beckham or Aaron Donald or Darqueze Dennard at the time. Now, Darqueze Dennard hasn't been that good. Odell Beckham and Aaron Donald have been damn good. Okay? Those are also guys that I looked at. Even Ryan Shea, was it Ryan Shea's year? Was he in that draft? Maybe not. There's someone else that I also wanted, but we also passed up. I want to say Ryan Shea's year, though, was in that draft. So at that time, I felt we could have went elsewhere, but I did concede, and I told you, I think Taylor Lewan is going to be a damn good left tackle. When we took Jack Conklin, I felt, hey, he's pretty good. Now, I thought, hey, Taylor Decker at 15 is going to give you better value, okay, and he could be just as good. I like Taylor Decker as a prospect better than Jack Conklin. Here's the thing with Taylor Decker, and I'm not going to beat this down too much because it really doesn't matter, and you guys are going to disagree anyway. Taylor Decker played really well at left tackle this year for the Detroit Lions. The Lions took him at 16 last year. Taylor Decker played well at left tackle. At right tackle, conceivably, he could be better. There's still an argument today, despite the fact that Jack Conklin made the All-Pro team, there is still an argument today that Taylor Decker at 15 would have been the better value. I know it's ridiculous to say, but consider the fact that Taylor Decker played well at left tackle. You could have stayed at 15. You'd have a second-round pick for this year. There's still that argument. So my argument was we should have went that route, okay? And there's still an argument that that was the better route. But I still concluded that Jack Conklin will be, I said at the time, an okay right tackle. I didn't know if he was going to be very good. He's been better than what I thought. Listen to me clearly. He's been better than what I thought. But I always said he's going to be okay. I did not see him being a bust. There is serious bust potential with Adoree Jackson, dog. Serious bust potential. He gets flat out burned at times because at the line of scrimmage, he does not have very good technique yet. And he, despite his athleticism, man, his tools in terms of his hips aren't quite as fluid as where they need to be right now. Very good at coming down with interceptions, but man, at number 18, the Tennessee Titans could have selected tight end O.J. Howard, dog. We were talking about taking this guy at number 5 overall, and he was available at 18 for the taking, and they passed on him. And when I look back upon this pick, that's the regret that I think we're going to have. Passing on O.J. Howard, watching O.J. Howard flourish with Jameis Winston for years to come. You could have paired Marcus Mariota with Corey Davis, O.J. Howard. Now you have Derrick Henry in the backfield. That's our offense for the next 5 years. 5 to 10 years. 5 to 10 years. Corey Davis, Marcus Mariota, and Derrick Henry, and Taylor Lewan and Jack Conklin at your tackle position. Hey, this offense looking pretty good. This offense looking pretty good. But they took cornerback, and they needed a cornerback. I agree. You needed a cornerback. But to me, there are 4 to 6 cornerbacks that were better than Adoree Jackson. And if you are honest with yourself just for one moment, just think about what you thought before the draft. Before you buy into what they're going to tell you, because they're going to tell you this and that about Adoree. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. Be honest with yourself. If I told you before the draft, as Mike Mayock tried to tell us, the Titans will take Adoree Jackson at 18, would you have been happy? Honestly. And the honest answer is no, because you would have told me no, he should go late first, or probably most of you, 80% of you, honestly would have told me second round, mid-second round. And he went mid-first round over O.J. Howard, dog. This pick, for me, now I'm considering C plus or B minus because he will offer special teams help. He will offer special teams help. And what exactly is a C? You know, how do we look back upon a draft pick and say, okay, this was a C? If he is a slot corner and a pretty good slot corner, will it be a C? Is that an A? Is that a B? If he's a below average number 2 corner, but a number 2 corner, is that a C? Is that a B? Is that an A because we could use a number 2 corner? You could argue if you really like Logan Ryan. I'm not really sure. So this is the grade I'm going to give. And I really don't even want to do this. I really don't. But, man, when I look at the value, I have to give it a B minus. Okay, it's a B minus. And I'm being nice. I'm being so nice. Because I honestly think this is one of the worst picks in the first round. The other worst picks were the Texans taking Deshaun Watson, so thank God for that. Okay, and the Saints taking Ryan Ramczyk. Other than that, man, I mean, honestly, that's the company we're in. And I'm being a nice grader this year. I'm being a nice grader. But we could have done more. This is the beautiful thing, though. This is the one beautiful thing that I can at least conclude from this draft and from what we've done. It won't matter. Okay? This extra first-round pick has always been a luxury. Okay? We could have went without it. But we had an opportunity, as we had during free agency, to get ahead of the curve, to catch up to New England, to catch up to Pittsburgh, to solidify ourselves as AFC South champions, likely champions, and as AFC contenders. But like free agency, to me, here, we did not maximize our potential to do so. And we missed out. We had an opportunity, man. Free agency, if you would have signed Calais Campbell, signed AJ Boye, signed Dante Hightower, just sign one of those 3. Okay? You're maximizing your potential. And then here, if you would have just drafted O.J. Howard, dog, if they would have drafted O.J. Howard and signed, let's say, Calais Campbell, I might be talking AFC Championship. I might be talking. I'm not talking about that today. This division will still be hard to win for us. I expect T.Y. Hilton to burn Adoree Jackson this season, assuming Jackson's even starting. Maybe I'm not even sure if Adoree Jackson is going to beat out LaShawn Sims. LaShawn Sims may start over Adoree Jackson next season. Honestly, I don't think highly of Adoree Jackson at all. And yet, this is who we're taking. He will be great on special teams. In fact, you know, he had 2 kick return touchdowns this season, 2 punt return touchdowns. He will be great on special teams. He'll be great. He'll be great. But, man, as a corner, with the middle of the first round, will he meet or will he even, get to his second contract with his football team, man? I mean, there's no way in hell we're going to pick up, the 5th-year option, probably. I mean, we'll see. That's 4 years down the damn road. But, hey, we drafted Corey Davis, dog, and that's what I'm excited about, man. Get your 84 jerseys out. Get your 84 jerseys out. Corey Davis coming home. As for Adoree Jackson, I'm not happy. So when I look forward to the next round, okay, next round, next day, day 2, where would we go? First of all, isn't it so funny how everyone's saying, well, the Titans are going to trade down in round 1. I bet everything they're going to trade down in round 1. Well, they didn't. So they still have 2 third-round picks, 83rd overall and 100th overall. They went wide receiver and they went corner, right? I warned you that maybe they wouldn't, right? Last year they didn't. They didn't go wide receiver or corner until round 5, despite obvious needs. This year they went wide receiver and corner because of the obvious needs. Okay, so where would they go from here? I'm looking at tight end. I'm looking at linebacker. And, you know, those are the 2 obvious positions. I mean, they could go D-line. They could go D-line. And then probably not safety at this point. I mean, maybe they just don't want a safety, man. They had opportunity to take Adams and Hooker. They passed on both. They don't want a safety. And that makes, I guess, you know, that makes sense to me. I mean, you have Kevin Byard. You have not Jamal Adams. You could have Jamal Adams. You have Jonathan Cyprien. So it's fine. But, man, Jamal Adams. I mean, I'm not too upset about it because, again, Corey Davis will be freaking good. But Jamal Adams. So, to conclude, Corey Davis, A-. Adoree Jackson. Did I say B-? Yeah, B-. That's an average grade between B+ and a B. But, man, the more I think about it, man, maybe I need to give this Adoree Jackson pick a C+. Because that's not even fair. It's just not a good pick. I don't think it's a good pick at all. I don't think anyone could argue it's a good pick. It doesn't make any sense. I'm giving it a C+, actually. It's like they just put all these corners on a damn dartboard and they threw a dart and it landed on Adoree Jackson. And I know a lot of you Titans fans out there, and just fans in general, if you really don't pay attention, if you really don't watch the film, you're going to say, oh, Adoree Jackson, I know that name. He's good. I just asked you to turn on the tape. Okay, after this video, go watch Adoree Jackson versus Washington. Go watch Adoree Jackson versus Penn State. Go watch Adoree Jackson versus UCLA. And you tell me if you're confident in this guy leading our team, leading our cornerback core. Not even leading it, just being an integral part of it. Just being an important part of it. Just being a good part of it. You know, I'm not sure about that. I don't buy that. So we'll see. I'm not happy about it. But again, at the end of the day, because this 18th pick, actually no, the 5th pick was a luxury. But because we nailed the 5th pick, I think it's going to be fine, but we haven't taken advantage of the nice opportunity to catch up. You know, if you would have hit on this draft pick, and maybe they will. Again, you know, maybe I'm wrong on this. Adoree Jackson's great. If he is great, man, that'd be great. But to me, you had an opportunity this offseason. If you would have spent money in free agency and had a very good draft, you could have caught up to New England. You could have. Honestly, maybe I'm high. Maybe I'm drunk. I think he could have caught up to New England. I said at the beginning of this offseason, but I said they need to do well. And to me, they did not do as well as they could have done. If I were to grade this entire Titans offseason, even though we haven't gotten to the end of the draft yet, I'd give it like a B, right? It's been good. It's been all right, but have you caught up to New England? Have you caught up to Pittsburgh? I don't think so. If they go 11-5 next season, it'll not be because they signed or because they drafted Adoree Jackson. It'll be because Marcus Mariota was freaking great. And Derrick Henry was freaking great, and Brian Arapaho was freaking great, and Logan Ryan was pretty damn good. It won't be because of Adoree Jackson, I'll tell you that right now. It may be because Corey Davis is really good, and I really like that draft pick. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Titans' first round as they take Corey Davis with the 5th overall pick and Adoree Jackson with the 18th overall pick. What are your thoughts on the Titans' picks for the 2017 NFL Draft? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. I'm out. Peace.